Week 6 in the National Football League, and we've picked out some highlight games. Brenden Schaeffer, Randy Karraker with you on STL Sports Central. Hope you are enjoying your football weekend. And Schaef, we've got quite a menu of games. We're going to start with a game that's just 3 hours down the road, the Indianapolis Colts with Indiana Jones leading the way. That'd be Daniel Jones. They're 4-1 and a 7.5-point favorite against my Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, man. I just found this out, that you were actually in attendance for the game against the Titans. That was the worst blown lead that I have ever seen.
Worst loss ever. And you know what? So I grew up with the football Cardinals as my team. I've seen a million games like that.
Yeah.
But not like that. And where you kind of think, okay, there's a chance that they could lose this. You know, there has not been since the merger. There has not been a team. So if DeMarcado scores that touchdown,
right, 27-6, they kick the extra point.
Yep. There has not been a team that has lost a game up 22 in the fourth quarter since the merger. So it's pretty amazing at that point in the game, at least, when DeMarcado should have scored the touchdown.
Yeah, it was 27-6 until it wasn't. And I was watching live as the play was unfolding. I said, he did the thing. That's going to be, they're going to take that back. And whether or not he actually crossed the goal line is immaterial to me. I would punitively punish. It's like the opposite of the tie goes to the runner, which we know is not a real thing. Mm-hmm. I would say the tie goes against the holder of the football. If you do that crap at the goal line, no matter how close it is, I don't care what the video says, you're done. You're out of here. That was really bad. There was no way they didn't cover the spread, let alone lose the game. No. I had the spread in a parlay. That was the last thing I needed. But like the fact that they lost outright is inconceivable. Although my favorite player, Tyler Lockett, jumping on the fumble, that's just the kind of player he is. That's what he does.
That was a heads-up play. So in the game against the Colts, number one, you're already missing your starting running back, James Conner. You're already missing your number 2 running back, Trey Benson. So it'll be Michael Carter, and no, they can't cut DeMarcado because they don't have enough running backs to cut him.
And because their coach got fined $100,000 for shoving him. I think that optic would have made it a little worse.
But here's the other thing. Kyler Murray didn't practice during the week. He's questionable for this game. I just have trouble believing that the Cardinals are going to be able to recover from that loss.
Is that so bad, though, if Jacoby Brissett plays? I'm not like a Kyler hater, but man,
Kyler is never going to be the guy.
He entered himself into the concussion check from getting a snap off the face. I know you're aware. You were at the game. Yeah. I just wonder sometimes what's going on with that guy.
He plays like a rookie. He's in his 7th year. And he panics and he throws the ball away from the line of scrimmage. Yeah, he plays like a rookie, but he does make plays now and then that I don't think Brissett can make. And here's the other part of this. Schaef, last week in that game. So they spent the 4th pick in the draft in 2024 on Marvin Harrison Jr.
Right.
He had 5 targets, 4 catches for 79 yards in the first half, maybe his best half in the NFL. In the second half, they targeted him once. The last 26 offensive plays the Cardinals ran, they did not throw the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
And
9 third downs. He had 9 third downs, and he was targeted once in the second half.
Yeah, that is baffling. It's not the only baffling thing that happened in the second half of that football game, but that was definitely baffling. I will say, though, even if it is Brissett, maybe especially if it's Brissett, because the line might move, I think I like the Cardinals and the points.
To cover, I like
I
that
don't
too.
think the Colts, man, they're kind of a wagon at this point, and I don't know how far that gets them. They're probably going to make the playoffs with this in an AFC South that's got the Jags looking pretty good, but otherwise not a whole lot going on. But like, this is one that I think Cardinals probably have a little extra energy. Jonathan Gannon said, wow, I came into the meeting room and it was just like, we had to start our meeting late because of all the energy in that room. I was like, hopefully that's true. But there could be a little bit of extra edge to the Cardinals that say, we have to come together and rally around after what happened. But I don't think they're going to win.
And these two coaches, Shane Steichen, former offensive coordinator at Philadelphia, now the head coach of the Colts, Jonathan Gannon, you mentioned the former defensive coordinator of the Eagles. They know each other exceptionally well. They know what the tendencies of the other guy are. That could tighten the game.
That leads to a close game with a point spread around 7.5. I think, Colts by 3 or 4. That's probably my prediction.
Okay. Well, that's a win for the Cardinals.
You'll take it, right?
Cardinals, yeah. The Seahawks at the Jaguars. Jaguars beat Kansas City on Monday Night Football. Sam Darnold has the 3rd highest passer rating in the whole league for Seattle. He's throwing it around, and Jacksonville is 10th in points per game and 8th in points allowed per game. So it seems like Liam Cohen has things going there. I think you and I are on the same page here. I like Jacksonville at home in this game.
Every bone in my body says Jacksonville wins this game. And then I look at the point spread and see that Seattle's favored on the road by 1.5. And you're like, Why?
With one of the longest trips in the country,
That
from Seattle to Jacksonville.
But it's like one of those deals where because everything on paper and everything that I know about these two teams says Jacksonville wins the game, it tells me that there's a reason. Like if Jacksonville was -2.5, I would be like, all right, that's what it's supposed to be. I'll take the Jaguars. Because Seattle is favored on the road, it tells me I'm missing something. It's going to be one of those classic sports betting things that happen and that Seattle's going to win and cover.
But if indeed, if indeed you get 3 points for being at home, then they consider Jacksonville the better team. I wonder if Seattle is favored because the people that set the lines are thinking, really, Jacksonville lost that game on Monday night.
And it's the come down from the fact that they did win it.
Yeah,
you know what
right,
I mean? Where it's
yeah.
like there's always that letdown after the fact.
Yeah. So I'm with you. Are you taking Jacksonville?
Everything tells me that I should take Jacksonville.
I'm going to do that.
But I'm a square when it comes to sports betting, which tells me take the opposite side because I'm so confident it's Jacksonville. Okay. That's like my own little mind game, though.
I hate to do this because I am a Ravens fan. I like the Ravens, but the Rams are favored by 7.5 at Baltimore. And I think the Rams not only win that game, but I think they cover. The Baltimore defense is decimated. Do we know Lamar? I don't think Lamar.
I don't think he's playing. I think it's still going to be a 2 to 3 week absence. Is what it's indicated to be.
So Cooper Rush again. I think the Rams cover that pretty easily.
Yeah, and they got embarrassed. I think Sean McVay had a long night of no sleep after that Thursday night loss where you're against one of your kind of coaching rivals in the division, Kyle Shanahan. He's coming at you with a whole team of second stringers on offense, and they embarrass you the way that San Francisco did. I think the Rams probably can beat up on a pretty weak defense and, frankly, an offense that hasn't been able to do a lot with Cooper Rush.
No, they have not. The Packers are 14.5-point favorite at home against Joe Flacco and the Cincinnati Bengals. Flacco making his first Bengals start at quarterback. There was one line I saw, one odds. The Packer defense is plus 450 to score a touchdown. I'd jump all over that.
I think I like that. I do like that. And I think to cover, they'll need one because I don't really the Flacco stuff is going to inherently, I think, make the game be a little bit tighter, a little bit closer. And I don't know that I've seen the dominance from the Packers the last couple of games that I've expected. They tie the Cowboys, and they probably should have lost that game, and they actually did lose to Cleveland. So this number is so big. If it was 10.5, I would say, yeah, Packers comfortably. Where it's at, Randy, I'm not so sure. I might be on the other side.
Packers at home off of a bye, though.
It's true.
Against a team that's they're just a
they're
mess. The Bengals are a mess.
Yeah, they are a mess, and defensively they're still a mess. Oh boy,
I'll take the Packers to cover this.
I'll take reluctantly the Bengals. Okay. What actually happens is they probably win by 14. I'm seeing plus 14. They're going to push.
Yeah, right there you go. One we didn't see coming. The 49ers, with their quarterback Mac Jones being 3-0 as the starter. 49ers are 4-1 at Tampa Bay, also 4-1. Tampa Bay a 3.5-point favorite. Mac Jones has, and I don't even know what QBR is, but he's got a better QBR than people like Jordan Love and Dak Prescott. He's 10th in the league in QBR. By the way, Baker Mayfield putting up MVP type numbers in this game. I like Tampa Bay at home against the Niners.
I think I like Tampa Bay as well. Again, it's one of those cases where the Mac Jones thing works. You put every ounce of energy you had into that game plan against the Rams. I know Kyle Shanahan wanted it. Is that sustainable? I don't think so against Tampa. Their offense has just been too good under Baker.
Yeah, and eventually the 49ers will get their receivers back, but not in this game. Really, the weapon that they have, and I know that they got an unbelievable performance from Kendrick Bourne against the Rams, but the real weapon they have is McCaffrey, and nobody's going to scheme up a plan to slow a guy like McCaffrey down better than Todd Bowles.
I agree with that. He's tough to stop, but if that's the only guy that you have to focus on, really do they get Kittle back? I think is still up in the air, and if they do, that maybe helps them a little bit, but I still like Tampa.
All right, and Sunday night, the Lions at Kansas City. The Chiefs, a 2.5-point favorite over Detroit. Detroit has set a record, team record for the most points scored by their team in the first 5 games of a year.
I feel about this one almost the same way as I do Jacksonville against Seattle, where I'm like, clearly it's the Lions. Why are they a road underdog against the way the Chiefs have looked a little bit topsy-turvy? But your point about that Jacksonville game for Kansas City should have won that game. And so if you're basing the final result off of the quality of the team that the Chiefs are, you're probably missing something. But the Lions have been an absolute behemoth ever since the Packers lost. And so I guess the one question I would have is, do we revert back to that, hey, Jared Goff outside of a dome thing, which wasn't applicable last week in Cincinnati, but Chiefs defense definitely better than what the Bengals are throwing out there. My heart wants to see the Lions win. I'm kind of a Lions partial these days. I don't have a real fandom since the Rams left. But, man, I think the key is the run defense. If the Chiefs can stop Jahmyr Gibbs, I think they've got a chance to win the game. If he goes berserk, I think that there's too many other things that the Lions will then be set up to do in the play-action game, and the Lions will win.
You know what's fun about this game is that Coach Rick Venturi told me one time, once you get to the fourth quarter, all of your game planning is out the window. It comes down to players making plays. And these are two teams that do so much in the last 2 minutes of games, right?
Yep.
And you got to figure it's going to come down to the end. Who has the ball last? I kind of like Detroit here simply because of, and I know this is super small sample size and you shouldn't bet on this, but because of the way the Chiefs lost last week, either they're going to come back and be really fired up and play great defense, or they're going to be disheartened. I don't think that they can slow down Detroit. Detroit has too many weapons.
I'm worried that it's the disheartened thing if you're a Chiefs fan, because you know what, Randy? I thought coming into the season they were going to be disheartened by the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And we've seen them come out pretty flat. When you have, and look, he's apologized for it. He said, I'm going to learn from it. But when Chris Jones is walking around the field on that final touchdown by Trevor Lawrence the way that he is, that's a microcosm, in my opinion, of kind of the way the Chiefs have handled things for the first handful of weeks of this season. It was Kelsey and Reed going at it on the sideline. There's just enough kind of bubbling beneath the surface here where they're kind of feeling the tension a bit. And I don't know if a matchup with the Lions is suddenly the cure to that. I think they're going to need to beat up on some teams like the Raiders and get Rashee Rice back to find their rhythm. I kind of like the Lions here as well.
You hit the nail on the head there, because after this game is when they get Rashee Rice.
It's huge.
Okay.
Huge for my fantasy teams as well.
Oh, no doubt. So if they lose to Detroit 2-4, then you get Vegas at home 3-4. Then you get Washington at home 4-4. You go to Buffalo, but you got Rashee Rice back.
You do. Even if you go 4-5 there, Randy, It's like there's still wins on the schedule. Texans, they play the Cowboys. They want their get back later against the Chargers, Titans.
Yeah.
So Broncos will be interesting though. Like they've got 2 games against Sean Payton yet to play. They could split those, and if they do that, and they lose to the Bills, you're like, okay, are we getting to 10, 11 wins like we thought we would?
See them at 11-6.
Yeah, I think that's possible. Even with a loss, frankly, on Sunday night, I do think they could end up with 10, 11 wins.
And the Chargers are. I loved the Chargers at the beginning of the season, but man, last week at the end of their game, they're playing with their number 3 left tackle, their number 3 right tackle. They lost the top 2 running backs.
It really
showed. They don't have their pass rusher. As great as Jim Harbaugh is, I think it's going to be hard for the Chargers to be what I think a lot of us thought they were capable of being. So let's wrap up here. So you think with Kansas City being a 2.5-point favorite that
the spread feels wrong, just like that Jacksonville one.
Yep.
But this time I'm going to go against my instinct that says I'm missing something here, and I will take the Lions and the points.
And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the same thing just because of it's a gut feeling. And so there we go. That is your NFL preview here on STL Sports Central. That is Brenden Schaeffer. I'm Randy Karraker. And don't forget, if you're here in Missouri, that the wait is almost over, because DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to Missouri, and you can sign up today. And if you are a new Missouri customer, you can get $300 in bonus bets when we launch on December 1st. Just download the app and place a $5 bet when we go live, and DraftKings Sportsbook will bring everything you need to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning-fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. And when we officially go live in Missouri, you'll be betting with the Sportsbook app trusted by millions. Safe, secure, and has fast money withdrawals. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use that code that's on your screen, STL Sports, to grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when we go live December 1st. Again, check out your screen. STL Sports is the code to use in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. That is your NFL preview. We will see you later on STL Sports Central.